My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic. Today I'm reviewing Tom Ford Oud Wood Intense, and I've just noticed it's got my name on it. Yes, I ordered these little samples from Perfumer or something, and they always arrive like in beautiful condition and really fast delivery, really fantastic. Yes, but just knows my name. This is £220 for 50 mils. This is unrestrained, lavish, intense. Tom Ford Oud Wood Intense introduces a new dimension for oud at its richest and most luxurious saturation. I like that. Never duplicated, this Tom Ford Oud Wood reveals its full force through a bold intensification ignited by the smouldering grip of Angelisa wood and cypress. Do we have our fragrance samples? We engage with a high self. Let's get testing. One thing I really want to say is that if a fragrance had real oud in, these dupe companies wouldn't be able to copy it dead on, because oud is so expensive, and if a dupe company can copy it dead on for £20-30, it absolutely doesn't have oud in. So that's the thought that came into my head. So this has the core of the original oud wood. Absolutely. They are manipulating the same raw materials. This absolutely doesn't have oud in. This is more leathery, darker, heavier, bitter. There's a real bitterness to this. It has some leathery suede notes combined with pepper. That is sort of the blast, the initial sort of blast. It's built on Icy Super and clean musks as well. The leathery notes are so dominant and so overwhelming, actually. The cedarwood compounds mixed with leather, sort of quite dominating. It's making a nose itch. It's so dominant in oak moss raw materials combined with cedar, combined with sandalwoody raw materials, going down to that tinny base. It's got clove in, so it's giving it like leathery, clove, woody heaviness to it. This is so dry and so bitter and so leathery. There's no sweetness to it. When you're dealing with leather compounds, you have to sweeten it because they're not particularly the nicest when you smell them, and you have to sort of really work at balancing them. That's what I try to do, is always try to balance sweetness with dryness, heaviness and masculinity. I think you really need to do it. There's a eucalyptusy note coming through with a sort of tanniny thing. They've used acetates in this to try and elongate and sweeten it, but it's not sweetened enough in my liking. It's really bitter. It doesn't even smell anything like the original. The original I used to wear a lot. My criticism with the original was it's not based out enough and it's not giving you that longevity. It has lots of projection, but it goes really quick on my skin. I always used to put stuff underneath. I used to put sandalwood underneath or patchouli underneath to try and base it out. Now I'd actually use animalics underneath of oud wood to really base out. What's even better than that is santal extreme. My santal extreme is so base heavy and would combine with the oud wood to be just fantastic and would really complete that. This doesn't even smell like Tom Ford. I'm just really surprised. Tom Ford's one of my most favourite houses, and it always has like a Tom Fordy feel to it. Do you know what I mean? This doesn't smell like Tom Ford at all. On to my final thoughts. I really don't like this at all, but I'll try and go through the marks with you. I feel like the original Tom Ford needed some base to it, and the Tom Ford Oud Wood Extreme needs some top notes to it. So I almost feel like if you combine the two together, you would get a perfect fragrance. For me, this feels so base heavy and dominant in the leather without any sweetness. This is bitter and tannin-like. So you're having the bitterness of the leather combined with the tannin and pepper with virtually no sweetness. It's dominant in green notes as well at the base. Dominance in bitterness and spice and leather with virtually no sweetness to it. And the eucalyptus note is so dominant. It smells like a really cheap toilet cleaner at the base. This has some eucalyptus combined with like a terpenol compound. You get it, and you will know it when you get it. You'll smell it after about half an hour, and you'll smell like lime at the base, and that is a mixture of aroma chemicals with eucalyptus at the base to sort of try and elevate a very, very dense, heavy fragrance. This feels really, really unfinished. Actually, it's really, I'm absolutely gobsmacked and surprised. I don't like it at all. I'm going to go through my marks for you, and then I'm going to have a shower. Technically, I don't like it at all, and I'm so sorry if this is your favourite fragrance. Technically, I think it needs to be sweetened massively, and I would love to see this made to feel like a Tom Ford fragrance. So technically, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 4. I think it feels unbelievably unfinished, and I can't believe that Tom Ford would have messed around with a fragrance and released this. It smells nothing like oud wood at all. I was hoping that it would have been based out massively and sweetened, and really, I mean, yes, is it worth the price? I think it's got some really good raw materials, and so yes, I absolutely think it's worth the price. Do I like it? No, not at all. I think it's so bitter and leathery and peppery and tannin like, and with just those limey raw materials. I'm going to mark it a 6 out of 10. This is not going to come off. The positive side of this is it's not going to come off your skin. And the positive side to this is if you like it, you're going to love it. But personally, I don't like fragrances that are so overly bitter. I want sweetness in leathery, dense fragrances. Or you go the full way and you sort of, you make it like a nasty beast of a bitch fragrance. You sort of, you smash and filth and animal notes and really sort of do something aggressive with it and really sexual. This is just that limey note. It's just dense and overpowering. I'm going to have a shower. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to sit that marks there because I personally really, really don't like it, and I'm really, really surprised. I imagine after 2 hours this is a bit more palatable, but for me it's just like a blast of hard, black, dense object at me. I would have loved to have seen a really, really good balance of, I would love to have seen the original oud wood based out, made sort of sweeter and just long lasting, and sort of something, you know, just removed a couple of these notes, and actually this would have been, so the original oud wood I think is a little bit too simple for my liking. It needed to be based out. This feels overly complex and bitter and tart and dry in a leathery way, which is why I'm not enjoying it at all. So anyway, I hope you love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content. Excited hands, and I'll see you soon.